Hello, we are back on ARK Survival Evolved, and if you're all wondering where to find all those glorious blueprints in the game, flak armor blueprints, giga saddles, quet saddles, swords, assault rifles, fabricated sniper rifles, wreck saddles, Outtro saddles, you name it, you've come to the right place. We're going to be going through the 7 best ways in ARK to farm blueprints. So let's not hang around, let's get straight into it. Coming in at number 7 is the Scorched Earth Desert Drops. This was the first map to introduce land drops that were the equivalent of deep sea loot crates. 4 drops will spawn at a time, but you do have at least 20 locations to look. Scorched Earth servers are dead and no one likes the map, so it's a pretty good method to farm deep sea loot crates, as there is less people on the servers. Coming in at number 6 on the list is Caverns of Lost Faith. This is an underwater cave on the island map. Cave entrance location is 53.7 lat and 10.4 longitude. This is what the area looks like and how you will find the cave. If you just look for these dark looking rocks here, you want to come out and see a bit away from that, and then you just want to follow the rocks going down and you'll find the entrance to the cave. Once inside, you will need a super strong team if you plan on fighting all the dangers in this cave. My go-to is always the Basilosaurus, and now we can breed these creatures. They are super strong in caves like this. Creatures do spawn at ridiculously high levels. You could also potentially do this on a Ichthyosaurus, as they are super fast and you might be able to bait them away from loot and then just come in for the grab and just run away. This is the easier of the underwater caves on the island. The quality of loot crates you'll find in this cave are blue, yellow and reds. Moving on to number 5, we have the second underwater cave on the island map, Caverns of Lost Hope. And this one is more challenging than the previous cave. Swarms of creatures are in even more big clusters. Of course they are high level once again. So the GPS coordinates to this cave are 46.4 lat and 88.9 longitude. That is the location on the map. This is what the area looks like. So the easiest way to find it is just go next to the beach, next to this rock here. And then you want to go to this first vine here on the right side. And just follow down from there. And there is your cave entrance to the Caverns of the Lost Hope. Once again, the Basilosaurus is a great pick for this cave. Or if you're an absolute boss, you could go for the Ichthyosaurus again and try and bait them all away from your loot and grab it with ease and run away. It's definitely easier said than done. The loot quality of crates you'll find in this cave are also blue, yellow and red. These 2 underwater caves are probably the best if you want to find flak blueprints. I have found quite a few flak blueprints in these 2 caves. Coming in at number 4 is the Ragnarok Desert Drops / Deep Sea Loot Crates. These are so high up on the list because they are so easy to get, as they are all in the same location. They only spawn in 5 possible places and only 4 spawn at a certain time. Unlike the Scorched Earth drops, they are super fast to farm. So it's a great way to find giga saddles, quet saddles, you name it. Also, if anyone is new to the game, I do have a video on the locations of these drops. I'll leave that link in the description of the video. Coming in at number 3, we have the Frozen Dungeon on the Ragnarok map. The cave has 2 entrances, both bringing you into the same area. So this is the main entrance to the cave. These are the coordinates and the location on the map. 38.9 lat, 37.8 longitude. Second entrance is through the bear cave. Coordinates are 31.2 lat, 33.5 longitude. You will need a pickaxe to get through this entrance, as there is a sheet of ice covering it up. This one's a bit easier to navigate if you're coming in on foot. So once you head in, there is this big area, because you'll go into like another entrance that takes you actually into the cave, which is full of ice worms. But this area is basically free loot. If you're on a server that enables flying, you can grab all these for free, or if you have a Tyler Colio, you could just climb up and navigate all these drops in here. There is 5 that spawn every single time. You can get blue and yellow drops in this area. And this is before we even go into the cave. Once you make your way to the cave entrance, it's too small for any tames, so you have to either bring cryopoded tames or just none at all. Once in the cave, you will encounter ice worms coming out the ground. The loot crate quality in this area before the boss fight. You'll find 4 red and yellow drops in this area. I'll point out that I personally think a Diabear or Tylocodo are great tames for completing this cave. Once you have slain the Ice Worm Queen, you will get 3 red drops spawn in the chamber. And coming in at number 2 is the Jungle Dungeon on the Ragnarok map. Also one of the best caves in the game, if not the best. The cave has 2 entrances. This is the location on the map. They're pretty much in exactly the same place. 18.2 lat, 28.4 longitude, 18.7 lat and 27.8 longitude. So once again, this cave is split up into basically 3 sections. First area you will find blue, green and yellow crates. And you will come across a lot of Titaboas, Arthropluras, Aranios and Scorpions. In the next phase of the cave, you will enter the Grapple Hook Paradise of Dreams. So in this section, you got to watch your step. You will come across a massive lava pit, so try not to have a bath in it. The only hostile creatures in this area are Onyx. But in this area, I'm pretty sure about 4 red and yellow loot crates do spawn here as well. You will also find that when you exit the cave, they probably have respawned after you killed the golem. So on to the last phase, Lava Golem boss. The Velonosaur is the best way to kill the boss. You don't have to use any resources or anything, and it doesn't even take that long. But obviously if you don't somehow have access to it, rockets and weapons will work. So once you've killed the golem, 4 red loot crates will spawn in the chamber. And all you have to do is grapple up to the middle pillar onto the rock golem's dead body, and then you can loot it, and there's crazy amount of loot in the inventory. Last on the list, and coming in at number 1, is Orbital supply drops on the Extinction map. There's 4 different supply drops that come down. Blue, which is easy, yellow, which is medium, red, which is hard, and purple, which is legendary. They do vary in health. Obviously the easier the difficulty, the lower the health of the Orbital supply drop. So you just have to defend from corrupted creatures for 5 waves. I'd say you can do the yellow one pretty easy. All you need is any kind of strong tame like a T-Rex or a couple of Shadowmanes would do it. You do get some decent loot from these things. You can have a little peek at what I got from this yellow OSD. Here's a list of all the items you can find in these Orbital supply drops. You can still get flak armor from the easy one, and they are very easy. Medium has some better tier stuff, as you can see. It just goes up in loot quality and more decent items potentially that you can find from these drops. So this is why it makes it to number 1 on the list, because the amount of loot that you get for the effort involved is pretty good. Of course, like the harder difficulties, it will be very, very challenging. But low level difficulties, you can still get very good loot for the amount of effort involved. But anyway, that is going to be the end of the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully it was helpful to you guys, and please feel free to check out the channel if it was, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care. Goodbye.